Hello, dear students. Today we are going to see the first chapter of Unit 1, that is Multidisciplinary Nature of Environmental Studies. So, what is environment? Environment is derived from the French word environner, which means to encircle or surround. It is a sum total of all the external materials, that is living and non-living, events and forces of nature which influence an organism. It is everything which affects the individual except the genes. Why we need to study environmental studies? First of all is to deal with the environmental problems. What are the environmental problems? Then what are the problems cropped in the wake of development? Then we need an alternative solution to this problem. So for that we require the environmental studies. It helps us to strain the fast depleting uh, to conserve fast depleting natural sources. It also helps in wise planning of the development, and it creates a civil sense and create a sense of awareness among the individuals. Now, components of environment. There are four components of environment: abiotic, biotic, social, and cultural. Physical or abiotic component can be divided into three types: climatic factors, that is light, temperature, rainfall, humidity, atmosphere. Then topographic factors, that is height from sea level, direction from mountains and valleys, slope of hills, etc. And third is the edaphic or soil factors, that is fertility, color, quality, organic matter. Then comes the biotic component, which includes plants, animals, and microorganisms. Then comes the social components, which is related to the society, that is population, social system, social changes, urbanization, industrialization, etc. Cultural component include all the moral values of life, religion, etc. So these are the components of environment. Now we'll see the segments of environment. Four segments are there: atmosphere, hydrosphere, lithosphere, and biosphere. We'll see one by one. Atmosphere is what? Atmosphere is the protective blanket of the gases surrounding the earth. Its main function is to sustain the life on the earth. It saves the earth from the hostile environment of outer space. It absorbs the cosmic rays and major portion of electromagnetic radiation which is coming from the sun, and it transmits only the UV, visible and near IR and radio waves, and it filters out the tissue damaging UV waves. Thus, atmosphere is composed of nitrogen, oxygen, argon, carbon dioxide, and other trace gases. Hydrosphere, it consists of what? All the water resources which is present on the earth. Out of this, 97% of the earth's water supply is in the ocean. 2% is in the form of polar ice caps and glaciers, and 1% is in the form of fresh surface water. So there is a very less percentage of water available. So we need to conserve our 1% fresh water, because we cannot use this other water resources. Okay. Lithosphere, it is the outer mantle of the solid earth. It consists of the minerals which are present in the earth's crust, that is minerals, organic matter, air, water. Then comes the biosphere. It indicates the domain of living organisms and their interaction between the environment. That is the domain in which living organisms and the abiotic component interact with each other, that is atmosphere, hydrosphere and lithosphere, that is known as the biosphere. Now we'll move towards the major part of the chapter, that is multidisciplinary nature of environmental science. Now what does this multidisciplinary means to study the problems or whatever things in environment environmental science, okay, we require knowledge inputs from various fields. Multidisciplinary, that is, knowledge input from various fields is required to study the problems which is related to environmental science. Okay, for example, to study the abiotic component, we require the knowledge of physical science. Then to study the biotic components, we require the knowledge of biology. Then mathematics is required for environmental modeling. Then to create management and awareness of the environmental problems, we require the knowledge of economics, sociology and laws. Then comes the use of such technology which will help you to conserve the environment or prevent the environmental problems. We require the knowledge of engineering, hydraulics, etc. So environment is affected by physical and biological surrounding and their interaction between them. Multidisciplinary nature is the study of environmental science, which is the interaction of physical, chemical and biological components of human surrounding. To study environment, one needs knowledge inputs from various disciplines. Like I have already told, life sciences including botany, zoology, microbiology, and genetics. It helps in understanding the biotic component. And subjects like physics and chemistry, they are used to study the biotic component. Mathematics and statistics and computer science, it helps in environmental modeling. Chemical engineering, civil engineering, hydraulics, it helps you to derive the various technologies which will help you to control the environmental issues. And environmental laws provide tools for effective management and protection of environment. Same I have explained uh, in a different point of view. See, so environment is composed of biotic and abiotic component. Component include land, air, and water, and biotic component include plants, animals, and man and its functions. So when you want to study the land, we require the knowledge of geology. When you study both air and water, you require the knowledge of climatology. When you want to study all these three, we require the knowledge of agriculture. If you want to study only the plants, we require the knowledge of botany. Animals, we require zoology and sociology. And when we want to study this man and his function, we require various um, streams to study, that is education, economics, law and management. Also humanity is required to study the man and its function. So all this comprises of environmental studies. So that is the reason why it is known as multidisciplinary nature of environmental studies. Now, for example, I have taken one environmental issue, that is air pollution. Okay, so we'll see. If you want to study the nature and reaction of air pollutants, you require the knowledge of chemistry and chemical engineering. If you require to study the effect of air pollutants on human beings, plants, and animals, we require the knowledge of zoology and botany, and also the knowledge of physics and chemistry. When you want to study the history of air pollution, we require the knowledge of history. When we want to study the economic impacts of air pollution, we require the knowledge of economics and demography. Sociological impacts of air pollution can be studied with the help of sociology. If we want to derive such devices which will control the air pollution, then you require the knowledge of physics, chemistry, and also engineering. Then if you want to use less pollutant alternative fuels, okay, from where you will get this knowledge? You will get this knowledge from various branches of physical science and chemical science. Then conservation of resources and pollution control. Here also you require the knowledge of physical and political science. So with this you can see, to study one environmental issue, that is air pollution, you require the knowledge inputs from various branches. Okay, so that is the reason why the name is multidisciplinary nature of environmental studies. Now this is one additional topic which is included in this, that is what are the national environmental institutions which work for the conservation of environment in India. Okay, so very first is BNHS, that is Bombay Natural History Society, Mumbai, which was founded in 1883. Okay, so its main work is wildlife policy bonding, research, publications, and it worked towards the conservation of wildlife species and ecosystem. They have published various publications for to create environmental and awareness, that is Hornbill, Journal on Natural History, S.H. Preter's Book of Indian Mammals, etc. It helps government in framing wildlife related laws, and it has also carried out the Save the Silent Valley campaign. Then comes the World Wildlife Fund for Nature, New Delhi. So this is World Wildlife Fund for Nature. It is an international organization. In India, it is known as WWFI. It was found in 1969. First, it was in Mumbai. Then it has several branches all over India. Its main function is to provide wildlife education and awareness. It organizes nature clubs, and it works as a think tank and lobby force for environment and development issues. Then comes the next, that is Center for Science and Environment, New Delhi. Its main work is organizing campaigns, holding workshops, and producing environment related publications. So it has published State of India's Environment, okay, which means that what is the status of India's environment. So it has given this publication, okay. It also publishes Down to Earth magazine, which is published fortnightly, okay, and it mainly deals with biodiversity related issues. Then comes CPR Environmental Education Center. So it provides environmental education to the schools and other colleges. Okay. So it was set up in 1988, and it conducts variety of programs to spread environmental awareness. It focuses its attention on NGOs, teachers, youth and children, which are mainly going to school, to promote conservation of nature and natural resources, and it is mainly deals with wildlife and biodiversity issues. Then comes Center for Environmental Education, Ahmedabad, which provides various training in environmental education. It was first initiated in 1989. It has wide range of programs of environment, and it produces variety of educational material. So whatever environmental books and publications are there, mostly they are provided by this Center for Environmental Education. CE's training in environmental education program has trained many environmental educators. Then this is the one which is there in Maharashtra, which is Bharati Vidyapit Institute of Environmental Education and Research, Pune. So it provides PhD, Masters and Bachelor's program in Environmental Science, and it also provides diploma in Environmental Education for in-service teachers who want to teach environment. So it implements a large outreach program that has covered 135 schools, in which it trains the teachers and conducts fortnightly environment education program. And major focus of its research is biodiversity conservation. This is Uttarakhand Seva Nidhi Almora. It is a nodal agency, and it supports the NGOs and provides the funds for the environmental related issues. Major program is organizing and training school teachers to use its local specific environment education workbook program. The main targets is linked with sustainable use of natural resources at village level through training the school children. Okay, so it has provided environmental education in about 500 schools. Then this is Kalpavriksha Pune. It is an NGO and it works on various fronts: it education, awareness, lobbying, litigation with regard to environment and development issues. Its activities include talks and audio visuals in school and colleges, then organizing student participation in ongoing campaigns, which include street demonstrations, consumer awareness, press statements, green alerts, meeting with city administrators, etc. It is involved with the preparation of site specific environmental manuals for the school teachers, and it is also responsible for developing Indian's national biodiversity strategy and action plan in 2003. This is the one which is used to generate, you can say, the action plan to be taken to conserve the India's biodiversity. So it was given by Kalpavriksha. Then this is the last one, you can say, Salim Ali Center for Ornithology and Natural History, SACON, Coimbatore. It mainly deals with the conservation of threatened conservation of birds. Okay, so it is an independent organization and is based on Coimbatore since 1990, and it includes variety of field programs and which provides information on threatened biodiversity. This is the last institute, Wildlife Institute of India, Dehradun. It was established in 1982 and its major focus is training the forest officials in wildlife management. Organization has over the years added an enormous amount of information on India's biological wealth, and it has trained a number of forest department officials and staff as wildlife manager. It also provides MSc program, and it has trained various excellent wildlife scientists. It trains personnel in eco development, wildlife biology, habitat management, and nature interpretation. So, with this, we have completed the chapter that is multidisciplinary nature of environmental studies. Thank you for listening. Hope you have understood.